since he was a student, a standout football player at Central High School. And back then, you heard me call his name is franchise. And I told him that he's gonna make it to the NFL. I told him when he was back in high school because of his work ethics and how, you know, he didn't hang with the ones that were always bragging. He's always humble. And I know that's why he's successful. He broke all kind of Olympic arena football records with the Arkansas Twisters. And he was so good, the Dallas Cowboys called him up. And right now, he's number, 27 on the all-time return list. You played 7 years, 5 years, and he's number 27 overall. He runs the Arkansas AAU Football League, which mentors young men to keep them off the street. And he also, a few weeks ago, called on 1,000 black men to come together to help put a lot of dent in this senseless black-on-black homicide we have in Little Rock, Arkansas. Put your hands together for the Arkansas Southern Violence Man of the Year, Brother Reggie Franchise Swindon.
First of all, thank God for everything that he's done for me in my life and in my family's life. And before I get started, because I always forget, when you're a kid, there's always people around that help you out and get you going, right? There's a man here today right now that's a big part of my success. His name is John Naughton. He's sitting right over there. I want to give John some love because when I was younger, not 8, 9, 10, he can tell y'all how I was. I wasn't the best kid. My mom can tell you, and my stepdad can tell you I wasn't the best kid. Lord, I gave him so much trouble. But there was something in my life that turned me around when I was in 9th grade at Pulaski High School. We played a football game against Cloverdale, our first football game of the year. And I scored 2 touchdowns that night before. And I come in the next day, and this one it had the Democrat and Gazette, had both of them.
Yes.
And the headline says, Swinton leads Panthers to victory. And I went to my Coach Seward, rest in love, Coach Seward. I said, hey, Coach, if I keep doing good, will my name keep being in the paper? And he said, yes. That turned it on for me right there. So I went from being this devious kid that my mom was going to call the boys home for, till I turned my whole life around. And it's always that one thing that triggers a kid. And I thank John for being there for me and letting me come to his house when I was a young kid in North Little Rock and taking time with me. See, a lot of these kids ain't got me and taking time with them. And that's why I do the best I can since 2013. When I started my program with my youth football league, there was a kid on my team. Oh, I almost said his name, I don't want to do that. There was a kid on my team that mom came to me and she said, Coach, can you help me out with my son? She said, all he's done is seen men come in and out of my house. And he has no respect for men. And so I said, I'll do my best. And so we get to practice, and his second day there, we blow the whistle for the kids to run, and everybody runs down and run back. And he didn't run this second time. So I said, so I'm gonna call him Johnny. So I said, Johnny, run. His mom said he cursed a lot. And I found out that day he did. When I said run, he stood back and he real picture-toed and he said, I ain't running. He was 8 years old. And my parents are looking at me saying, what you gonna do? You know, they trying to see me and my reaction. So I went to him and had a heart-to-heart talk with him. And I found out that young man was very disturbed. So what I started doing was going to his school with him, having lunch with him. Went to a gentleman club meeting, and I sat with him, and he started to see there was somebody who cared for him. I would take him home, I would feed him. And I bought him shoes for Christmas, and I bought him a bike for Christmas. And to this day, right now, and my wife didn't know about my bike. I'm sorry, baby. And to this day, if I call that kid, it's the utmost respect for me. All it took was one. One. These are my two boys right here. Well, two of my four kids right here. One of them plays football for Jackson State, the other one's trying to get down there right now. And I'm scared for my kids every time my kids leave the house. Because we don't know what's going to happen or if our kids will come back home. My oldest son left, so he's 23 years old, so I can't baby him. He wanted to go out last night, he went out and he left at midnight. I didn't sleep well. But I understand I gotta let him be a young man. The same way that my mother and my stepfather allowed me to go out and grow up. We gotta trust that what we did as parents is gonna work with our kids. But sometimes it's not about what our kids do, it's what the people do around them. So I'm reaching out to everybody, these parents. I say this all the time. We gotta stop being our kids' friends. Me and my son have been arguing a lot because I refuse to let those two right there think I'm their friend or I'm their partner. My job is to raise them to be the best they can be because my parents did a great job with me. I ain't never smoked no weed. I ain't never been in no trouble. So I think my mom, my dad, my stepdad, and all the coaches and mentors that's been around me did a great job because I wouldn't put my struggles, I wouldn't trade them in for nothing because it's got me standing where I am today. My stepdad right there. I have a real dad, he's in my life. But my stepdad right there.
All right.
Y'all just don't know, boy. He stepped in. And he stepped up. He took me and my mom from the bottom. He helped make me a man. When I tried to move back home years ago, I was a grown man that had been married one time. I was struggling. I tried to move back home, and they let me come back home, but made it hard for me because he wanted me to grow up. And he told me things I couldn't do. I couldn't turn the TV. I couldn't come in at a certain time. I'm 24 years old, and I'm in his house, so I got to go by his rules. And what he was saying was, if you don't like my rules, become a man and move out. And I moved out, and I met this lady right here some years later. And we had that young man in black right there. See, tough parenting made me grow up. Some of y'all ain't tough parents, y'all trying to be y'all kids' friends. And they gonna forever be lost because you holding that pacifier. Well, I can go all night. Reverend Bennett, thank you so much for this award. I really appreciate it. You mean a lot to everybody. Stop the Violence, you've been doing it since 1991. And I remember. And Officer Davis. The OK program. It's okay because it's in good hands. It's in great hands. And we thank everybody that steps up and helps with the youth. Because if we don't have us, these kids will be lost. Thank y'all very much.